he's been covering that.
Okay, we're going to west of the Rockies. Marcel in Alaska. Good morning, Marcel.
Good morning. Hello. I have two questions for Clif and George.
Yeah, we're having trouble with your phone line.
Oh, darn it.
I think we're going to have to call you back. We're going to have to go to a different line there. Sorry about that. Maybe you can try to get back through. First-time caller, Aaron in Fort Worth, Texas. Good morning.
Good morning, George. Love your program. George and Clif have been a long-time subscriber to both of your work and following you since pre-2001. And just a great, great read every day.
Eating a lot of pie?
Trying to, storing them, stacking up. My question, I'll make this brief, is I know in the last Alta Series report there was a lot of details and a lot of information discussed about what you guys referred to as the Israeli mistake.
Yes.
And was wondering if that is still something. I know in this latest run.
It's actually happened. It has occurred. The Israeli mistake was the attack on the disparate or separate provinces in Georgia as a pretext to using the air bases there to launch the attack on Iran. The Israelis came into it because all the language has been, I think we're at 96% fulfilled on the Israeli mistake. That whole time stream has already started.
Are you saying that the Israelis are going to attack Iran?
Oh, yeah. There was this little plot going in the great game, if you will, and they were stupid about how they did it, and the Russians came on in and chopped them off at the knees in their particular approach, and many innocent thousands of people were killed because of the powers that be trying to use air bases in Georgia, which is a subset of the Khazars Jewish. It's got a huge, it's a giant, or it's a place like Florida for a lot of Israelis. They have second houses there, and it's got a lot of Israeli influence, and that was where the Israeli mistake came in and the brutality and so on. So the language has been fulfilled on that.
But is there still an attack on Iran coming? A big assault?
There's a desire to. We keep seeing the military popping on up, and in the chaos that's going to be coming economically, the military will play a very large role there because that's been the chief sales point for the dollar. And as the dollar collapses, we won't need those people out there doing that. There will be all kinds of thrashing around. And then the Israelis are going to have to start asking themselves some questions because they exist on our dole. Without our aid, they do not exist. They don't have enough money. They don't create enough to be independent in that regard without all of our funding coming on in, and that'll disappear this winter. We won't be able to give aid to any other country. We'll be an aid recipient.
Aaron, thank you for the call. We're going to go to the wild card line. Tracy in Minnesota. Good morning, Tracy. What's on your mind?
Hello, guys. I love it. It's fascinating. You guys are doing a spectacular job. About the October 7th thing, about 2 weeks ago, and I thought I was pretty nuts, but I got this weird psychic vision, I guess you would call it, and it came after like a whole bunch of anxiety just swept over me, and then what I felt was that there was going to be like 3 simultaneous attacks happening in the U.S., and then I heard on or around the date October 15th. And it was weird because I was looking down at the United States, and it looked like a triangle formation. Like, I don't know if it was geographically patterned and it looked like in the formation of a triangle. And I guess now that you're saying October 7th, and then about a week ago, I think the Homeland Security said something about, an alert kind of thing, and then with Pakistan happening. So I'm kind of freaked out, and I'm just wondering if you guys have had in your findings, like anything specific that would have to do with the number 3 or a triangle.
Yeah, the triangle, of course, you have to look at it as symbols. Both archetypically internally for yourself and in the greater world out there. The triangle, of course, is the core symbol for the Illuminati and the control structures of the planet.
Oh, God.
It's inside the tetrahedron. It goes to the core of the sacred geometry. The triangle is the basis for all material universe and so on and so on. But we also have to stop and say October 15th is also when we, in our latest publications, indicated that there is going to be a little bit of military misunderstanding.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, all humans are psychic. You may be more so than most.
Okay, well then
you don't want to share with us where your triangle was located, do you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it looked like it was like an upside-down triangle, and the point of the bottom being at maybe like around Texas, and then to the right it was like, you know, on the East Coast, like maybe the Carolinas, Virginia, around that area, and then probably mid-California is what it kind of looked like.
See, George,
yeah, it was the lower quadrant.
I'm trying to think. Is that an isosceles triangle there, or?
What were you going to say, Cliff?
I was just going to say, there you go, George, Texas again.
Yeah, you guys picked a good spot down there.
Oh well.
Thanks for that call, Tracy. Try to get to one more call before our next break. Eric in Milwaukee. Good morning, Eric.
Hi, good morning, guys. I've just been thinking, tying a whole bunch of different things in here. You guys are talking about something catastrophic coming up. And with false flag ops kind of thing, kind of like a post 9/11 type deal. And basically, I'm thinking with the Pope talking about telling all the Christians it's okay to believe in aliens, and you're not going against your faith if you do. And in the past, we've had Project Blue Book, and now we've got Blu-ray discs. I don't think Project Blue Beam is that far off. And basically, my question to you guys, have you ever thought about running your program on the possible outcome of what I'd like to call all these people that are awakening?
We know that they impact. We know this both from our own work and also from such weird sorts of things as descriptive prophecies about the Kali Yuga, which is the time we're in now, where they say that in the Hindu prophecy, which the Hindus don't make a lot of prophecy, not relative to other religions, strangeness and anomaly, but nonetheless, in some of the Sanskrit descriptions of the Kali Yuga, that particular time we're in now, a group of people called the Rishi, which Rishi means those who know or awareness. Those people are going to pop up and start altering things. And as I say, in all of our reports, I don't think the powers that be have that many years left amongst us.
Well, I don't either. And I think a lot of it has to do, I've been following a whole bunch of different stuff. A couple months ago, this all kind of just started tumbling, and one thing kind of led to another. And right now I'm really into a lot of vibration and frequency technology, Monroe Institute,
sure.
Claris technology with the Q-Link pendant, which protects you from bad, I couldn't say it's HARP technology, but I know a lot of the truckers would understand what I'm saying. When you're driving down the road and you see all those weird towers that really aren't really super high up, they're really kind of close to the ground, and they've got those weird triangular-looking things coming out of them. And I've seen a lot of them going up around here in Milwaukee, and they're saying they're cell phone towers. And I just have a funny feeling that the government's trying to do something here with audio frequency. And I know myself, I resonate very high. I'm a high-frequency resonator. And I'm worried about a lot of these people that are low-level or low frequency-type people, because I think that's what they're going to be pumping. And that's what this Blue Beam is going to be all about.
Eric, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. We need to take a short break. That's what Jimmy Buffett is telling us there. We'll be right back with more of your calls on Coast to Coast AM. Stay with us. Wow, we've been getting an earful from George and Clif, our personal time monks, about things that are coming our way very soon, some very dire and disturbing things. We're going to take this break and come back and get to as many of your calls as we can in the home stretch here of Coast to Coast AM. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll get to as many of your calls as we can. Marcel in Alaska on our first-time caller line. Got back through, did you?
Thanks. Yes, I have two questions for Clif and George, and that is regarding the economic change or the need for, say, food and water and gas. How do they think that perhaps Canada or Alaska may be affected. Would it be any different from the rest of the United States or anything possibly? And the other question is do you know anything about angelic people?
Fellas?
Let's take the first. Obviously, it's going to be different for Alaska because of the same kind of things that hit you now, the increased cost for transportation, et cetera. The good part for you, up to the point of refining, is that it's a net energy-producing state temporarily. So energy and calories are going to become very important. We have some indications that weather-wise, it may be that the East Coast suffers greater climate problems this winter than Alaska will. And so it might be more critical for them to have oil stored in and wood or however they're heating. The issue for everyone, of course, will be the food and the other kinds of crises. George Ure was quite correct in pointing everybody towards Dmitry Orlov's work as a guide to what could happen when an empire collapses, because that's basically what we're living through.
Well, I would imagine the Alaskans, a lot more Alaskans are self-sufficient.
I would imagine that's the case as well. I used to live there. I was there during the large earthquake in 58 when it became 59 when it became a state. Very
Marcel, the second question?
Do you know anything about angelic people? I've just done a little reading about them online, and it might be just a bunch of, silly stuff that can be up online, but I was just wondering if you knew anything about that.
I think that's I've come across some of the linguistics and led me to investigate it briefly, and by that I mean probably no more than a half an hour put into that particular descriptive language around it. I think that their descriptions are accurate, but they're describing something that is actually, or they're putting a view on it that is tainted by their personal perspective. So the angelic people thing is a larger phenomenon and that is more centrally core to humans and is not so limited as in the sense of religion or spirituality as we currently define it.
So that's their interpretation of it as opposed to the reality.
Correct.
As opposed to the generic naming.
Yes.
Right. Thanks, Marcel. Appreciate it. Wildcard line, Jimmy in Charleston, South Carolina. Good morning.
Hey, guys. How's this going? Great show tonight. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but a lot of people are out here thinking about, what could it possibly be? What type of event is going to occur? Imagination's going wild. And, just using the clues that you guys have given us tonight, one of the callers that called just a little bit ago started talking about the collider. And at that moment, a lot of the theories kind of came together for me, and I just wanted to just kind of point these out to you. If in fact the ETs could be influencing us to use this collider in order to open up a dimensional portal, whether it be let demons in or take some of us out, or just be a method of transportation, that would solve your otherworld influence on this event.
Last time I saw, though, the latest I'd heard was that the collider was not going to be operating anywhere near full power for a couple of months, and it doesn't show up in the linguistics as being like a driver of what's going to come. It's
right.
It's back to the economic and military.
Yeah, and also let's be real clear about this. When we wake up on October 7th, the quote trigger event may have occurred, and it may have been very small, a butterfly kind of a thing. But what we're looking at, what really has us affected here emotionally, is that we're looking at a 5+ month period in which this will go on. Now, it may not. It is most likely that it will not be a single event, but will be a confluence of all kinds of things. So really, we don't see it as being one big bang or anything on the morning of October 7th, and then we all just live with that for the next 5 months, but life goes on as usual. No. We're talking about something that starts then and keeps going for 5 months.
In the study of economics, there was an event in 1974 where Bankhaus Herstatt in Germany failed some counterparty obligations and almost took down the entire global financial system in 74. It's that kind of a thing that we could be seeing and not putting the right